Assalamu alaikum. My dear students, hope you all are well. Welcome to my online class. I will discuss about topics in respiration. One is the ventilation mechanism and another is the control of breathing. Let's start next discussion. Ventilation mechanism. The movement of air into and out of the lungs are called ventilation. Ventilation mechanism is completed by two different processes. One is inhalation or inspiration, another is exhalation and expiration or expiration. First one, inhalation. During inhalation, the contraction occurs in both intercostal muscles and the diaphragm muscles. Due to the contraction of intercostal muscles, the length of the thoracic cavity increases. On the other hand, due to the contraction of diaphragm muscle, the width of the thoracic cavity increases. As a result, the volume of the thoracic cavity is increased in all directions. So, the volume of the lungs increases when the thoracic cavity is extended and the air is sucked in. Next process, exhalation or expiration. During exhalation, the relaxation occurs both in intercostal muscles and the diaphragm muscles. Due to the relaxation of intercostal muscles, the length of the thoracic cavity return to normal. On the other hand, due to the relaxation of diaphragm muscle, the width of the thoracic cavity return to its normal position. As a result, the volume of the thoracic cavity back to its normal position. So, the volume of the lung reduces when the thoracic cavity contracts. This increases the pressure within the thorax but decreases the volume, forcing air out. Thus, inhalation and exhalation is occurred. Next topic, control of breathing. Look at the picture. Breathing is controlled by a bundle of nerves called respiratory center, which is located in the brain in an area called the medulla oblongata. You can clearly see the medulla, which is located in the brain, and pons is also present in the brain, which is responsible for the controlling of the breathing. Regular nerve impulses travel down efferent nerves that pass from the respiratory center out to both the external intercostal muscles and the diaphragm. These muscles then contract, starting off inhalation. The phrenic nerve is work here. As air enters the lungs, stress receptors in the airways start firing and feed for information to the brain about how the inflation of the lungs is progressing. The more the lungs inflate, the faster the stress receptors feed back impulses. When the lungs are inflated sufficiently, the signals from the respiratory center stop for a short time and exhalation follows automatically. The body is relatively insensitive to falling oxygen levels. It is much more sensitive to an increase in carbon dioxide, and so this is the indicator of the need for oxygen. And for the monitoring of the oxygen and carbon dioxide level in the blood, the vagus nerve is responsible for passing the nerve impulses to the brain. Any increase in carbon dioxide concentration in the blood lowers its pH. The chemoreceptors, which are extremely sensitive to the composition of the blood that flows past them, can detect very small changes in pH. There are three types of chemoreceptors. One is central receptors in the medulla oblongata, which are sensitive to the carbon dioxide concentration in the blood and that flows through this region of the brain. Second one, the carotid bodies in the wall of the carotid arteries, and the third one, the aortic bodies on the aortic arch just above the heart. Together, the carotid and aortic bodies are described as the peripheral chemoreceptors. These cells sense changes in carbon dioxide and pH levels, and to a lesser extent, they are also sensitive to changes in oxygen levels. When chemoreceptors register and change in carbon dioxide levels or pH, they send nerve impulse to the respiratory center in the brain. This responds by sending more frequent impulses to the external intercostal muscles and diaphragm. When this happens, our ventilation rate increases. We breathe harder and faster. Heart rate is also increased, and so the body automatically increases oxygen delivery at the same time as removing the extra carbon dioxide. Thus, breathing is controlled by the nervous system. In the next class, I will discuss about the respiratory disease like as sinusitis and otitis media. It's all about today. Thank you all for watching this video.